who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey sports fans, Larry Elder here. Welcome to another edition of And Another Thing. Please go to LarryElder.com to become an Eldorado. What you're going to get is a free copy of Michael and Me, my award-winning feature-length documentary exploring the Second Amendment. And believe it or not, I confront Michael Moore the way he did Charlton Heston. And I ask him 3 times, Mr. Moore, how many times do Americans use guns to defend themselves every year? In other words, how many Americans are alive because of the dastardly guns that you like to get rid of? 3 times he said, well, you have to get the DVD to find out what he said. Now for the episode of And Another Thing. I want to talk to you about Ben Affleck's recent interview in Playboy magazine. But first, this. When I was a little kid, we had a woman who lived with us named we had a woman who lived with us named Doris. Doris was like a sister. And we adored Doris. And Doris had a boyfriend. And the boyfriend was so handsome that all the girls in my neighborhood, whenever the boyfriend would come over to visit her, would come out of the house to just take a look at him. He was that good looking. Beautiful teeth, beautiful body, combination of Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte in their prime. I mean, the man was gorgeous. And he would turn heads from guys when he'd walk down the street. That's how handsome he was. So my mother and I, 13 years old maybe, are in the kitchen talking about this guy, and I said something about how handsome he was on my way to make another point. And my mother said, "You think he's handsome?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I don't see it." I said, "Mom, when he comes over, the girls, Judy and Linda, come out of the house and they come up with some sort of excuse just to come out to take a look at this guy. That's how good looking he is." My mother said, "I don't see it." Now, I know my mother very well, and she was being very sincere. And so I said to her, and remember, I'm 13 years old. This is how insightful I am. I said to her, "You don't like him, do you?" And she said, "No, I don't." And I said, "That interferes with your ability to look at him the way other people do." And she went, "Maybe so." That brings us to Mr. Affleck. In Playboy, Affleck said that when he watches a, quote, big Republican, close quote, on the screen, and he knows it's probably somebody he wouldn't like, somebody he would disagree with, it's hard for me to suspend disbelief when I watch him. Read the article yourself. It's hard for me to get past the idea that I know I wouldn't like this guy. It interferes with the performance. That's what he said. Interferes with my ability to look at this actor and appreciate his performance. Fair enough. I'm not saying Ben Affleck has no right to feel that way. God, Lord knows he does. Here's the point. How do you suppose, Mr. Affleck, we feel? You said it bothers you when you look at the screen. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be an Eldorado. Go to my website, LarryElder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.